So when they go to this, what do you foresee this housing looking like?
Yeah.
Because I could see some people saying, hey, this is a great idea. It's getting the kids off the streets, giving them a safe place. But I can see the other side, the extreme opposite, saying this is just another institution to jail our kids.
Sure. So there's actually an organization at the moment I can't think of the name of that's in Kaiser right now that has purchased 2 houses that could essentially do this work. And it's made up of professionals. There's a QMHP, so a licensed therapist that's giving her time, a couple of mentors, and like a program coordinator. It's a place to land. First of all, it's not the streets. It's protecting kids from the dangers outside. And we don't probably want to get into right now what that looks like, but you use your imagination. And kids are being victimized by each other and others on the streets today. Providing them a safe shelter to go to is an opportunity for them to be seen by a safe adult, by a system of care that really needs to be thoughtful in public safety, which is law enforcement. Law enforcement doing an investigation within 72 hours into someone's home life offers a lot of opportunity. And also it can identify a lot of challenges that exist. And there has to be a referral handoff into a supported system of care for that kid. While that kid is being sheltered, they're not being harmed from what their perspective is. They're being seen and cared for. What permanency looks like past that, I think, is unique for every youth in that space. But ultimately, it's not a long-term environment. Shelters aren't meant to be long-term. They're meant to be transitional, very temporary to get you out of a dangerous situation. There's already a robust system now available to help youth in navigating, children's behavioral health as an example in the county. We do all kinds of service providing to kids that know about it, families that know about it, that can access it. But a lot of these youth that are navigating these adversities don't know what door to go into and what door they can trust if the door opens. And so essentially, I think it's just creating a safe environment with safe adults that are looked at by the government, that have to go through certain processes and regulations to be accessible to those youth, so that way they're not additionally harmed by either system trauma, which is real, because systems constantly fail people, and or just by people who take advantage of vulnerable individuals.
So, and you said law enforcement would be responsible for doing the investigation of their background within 72 hours.
Yeah.
Is there going to be one department that in law enforcement that's in charge of it for Marion County, or is it going to be divvied up between, if you live in Kaiser, it's going to be Kaiser PD, if you live in Salem, it's going to be Salem? Where are these resources for that coming from?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The system has to be designed. Right now, we're in conversations with DHS. There's a program within the Department of Human Services that deals with at-risk youth who are homeless today, and they receive $1 million a year statewide to do this work. The gentleman that runs that program has raised a lot of red flags about this concept, which is why it's going to take us time, because you don't want to do anything like this with this population fast. In Marion County, there's likely a system internally that we will design to be responsive to this. For individual municipalities, I don't know, because there's not like money growing on trees being handed out for this type of work. What we do know is that there's a lot of money going into the Department of Human Services for foster care systems that are failing, and that money is being looked at right now really closely by the governor and the legislature to determine if it's being best utilized in today's society. So there will likely be resource allocations differently to systems of care around youth in the future. And as we build this program, I think those questions will be answered. The model that I pulled is from the state of Colorado. And Colorado built a whole program around this at the state level and then found resources to pour into the local communities to make it successful. Oregon's system doesn't mirror Colorado's, but it does look to Colorado from time to time to create good programs.